So one of the biggest matchups in the friend group is Ethan Dahami versus Michael Target. They have a long history. Um, a lot of beef there, a lot of problems. So we're gonna be discussing their recent rematch and who would have won if it went the distance. You guys will be mildly surprised by the outcome. So the way this is gonna work is I'm gonna go over the five stats of each combatant, and I'm gonna use feats in the arguments. So may the best fighter win just off of the stats. We do this here the right way. Starting with strength, we know Ethan scales to a grade 10 Matt Kramer, and I don't think anything's changing from there. Not a lot of strength in this man. His father's disappointment. It is worth noting, though, however, he does have police training, and I think that does mean something, even though it was short lived. We gotta give the kid some credit. For the reasons I mentioned, I'm gonna give Ethan a 2 out of 5 in the strength department. Um, Not much to be afraid of, but his other stats could make up for it. We're now gonna move on to Ethan's physical feats, where I think he actually excels. From this photo, you can see that he has a lean gut, which is a reserve of fat that allows him to tank, I think, almost all attacks. It's why he says most things don't hurt him. He's got a high pain tolerance. I think he's just gotta lay off a couple calories. That's about it. But he does scale to autistic strength peak, grade 8 Connor. Um, Very impressive. I think this is gonna be one of his more dominant categories. With all that in mind, I'm gonna give Ethan a 4 in physical. Um, Physical durability, I think he quite excels at this. A 4 out of 5 is quite respectable. I think it allows him to tank most things in this friend group. Um, Keep it up, man. Again, I think this is one of Ethan's stronger categories. He's been said by multiple sources to be D1 in running from a fight. Um, Quite impressive in getting away from any altercation. And I think agility is going to be one of his more strong suits. In this scaling video, as you can see from the footage, he manages to outrun Michael Target, and we have multiple other people that we've also witnessed him outrun. All around, great feats. I think I'm gonna have to give Ethan 3.5 out of 5 for agility, just because he's been slacking a little bit on his endurance training. Walks around Milton aren't gonna get you very far, little guy. You're gonna have to try a little harder than that, but keep it up. You're still a pretty nimble guy. I couldn't catch you personally, and I think that's enough for you to be proud of yourself. In terms of technique, you know, Ethan didn't pick up a lot from combat arts, as you can tell. He's got the closed fist, Eugene punch. Got a little fruity tooty, Fruit Loop punch. The 1-2, the boom bap. AIDS, no condom. Douching punch, but I'll give him that. Combat arts probably did teach him a thing or two. We even have some fight footage playing right now. Not his strongest one. I'll say that much. Not one of his strongest feats. Again, like I said, this one's rough. I'm gonna have to give him a 2 out of 5. Leaves a lot to be desired. The fairy fist just doesn't take you very far in a fight, and I think his other stats are just gonna have to carry in its place. I think the audience will be surprised to know that this is next category of intelligence is actually Ethan's most impressive. Centennial College actually has a 7% acceptance rate, according to Canon.co, which is honestly one of the most reputable sites of all time. I don't think it's even close. 93% of people who apply to Centennial don't get in, meaning Ethan's got insane intelligence feats, and I think the score is going to reflect that. And there you have it. Ethan gets a 5 out of 5 in intelligence. No contest there. Just one of the smarter people in the friend group. If you put a test in front of him and Josh Daniels, Josh is getting smoked 5 out of 5 times. 7%. Come on. It's not even close. Before we move on to Michael and the actual fight footage, I think it's worth noting this video right here. We know that Ethan in his his more rough time. He wasn't exactly fitting in. He was bodied by his brother Talus Dahami. We know that he does not scale to his brother, and that all it takes is a fickle 20 to put him in the dust. So, yeah, gonna take some points off there. We're now moving on to Michael. Very, very powerful fighter. I guess we'll see how his stats match up to Ethan. To some of you, this might be a surprise. To others, not so much. We'll see. Starting off with Michael's strength feats, I have a fight right here to display them. It's very clear. From here, you can see Michael's the one in the coat who's just thrashing the hell out of the other guy. You can see he's going to Pound Town, utter domination. This is from his time as Sam Sherritt. Um, yeah, and you can only think of the fact that he's gotten better from here. I think easily with these feats alone, you could say that strength is definitely one of his stronger points, 110%. I'll let the fight play out a little more. Uh, for the fight you just saw there, like it literally speaks for itself. Sam Sherritt, man, was like 10, 12, 9 maybe. Um, 5 out of 5, easy. Come on, move on. Moving on to his endurance, his physical stature. Michael Target again, fine specimen. This guy's crazy. Fuck, shoulders beyond belief. This physique. I don't think he's taking much damage from a lot, but there are some qualms with it, whether he's natural or not. I don't think he's natty personally, but I don't let my bias get in the way of these rankings. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but I won't be giving him a perfect score. No way, no chance in hell. For the reasons I said, I'm going to give him a 3.5 out of 5. Not quite up to Ethan, but he gets what he gets. For agility, I think it's easily going to be Target's worst stat. I don't think I've ever seen the guy run, let alone move in my life. Genuinely don't know if the guy's handicapped or not. Yeah, it's not going to be good for him on this one. He's going to have to end the fight with one big hit or get his hands on Ethan or something because, man, this guy cannot move for pardon my language, shit. Just for the reasons, like, this guy's always slumped, like, he really does nothing, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. 1 out of 5. Come on, bro. Start doing, like, cardio. You don't want to be Michael Foster. I'm going to play a ton of fight footage for this next segment. Michael Target, his technique. As you can see here, it's a lot of grabbing. He almost holds himself back because he doesn't want to knock out his opponent. Oh, right there, right? Do you see that? He swung at me. Very clean punch. I think I would have been out personally if Ben didn't save me there. But yeah, a lot of like circumstances hold him back from just knocking his opponent back. Over here we have a much cleaner look at it. Like he just very firmly takes down Ethan. Not much he can do there, but yeah, even when scissored like that, I mean it doesn't phase the guy. He just ruptures his asshole like he always does. Personally, I'd say the technique is alright at best. Yeah, about Ethan level. I wouldn't say he's much better, much worse. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so I just gave him the same score as Ethan. He didn't prove that he has anything special to him, but I do feel like he holds himself back. Yeah, like, could go either way in technique, but I feel like Michael's holding himself back. On to intelligence. Compared to the Centennial 7%, 12% isn't quite as low, meaning that it is considerably easier to get into the University of Ottawa, plus 42.5 hectares in the hub of Ottawa. It's not as impressive as Centennial College being as big as Nunavut, apparently. Getting some estimates around there, so imagine that 7% acceptance rate and you're that large, like that's very impressive. I'm gonna have to say Ethan is the more intelligent one in this bout. Yep. Back to the stat spread. Like we established, Michael not is quite as intelligent as Ethan, and as a result, I'm gonna have to give him 4 out of 5 compared to Ethan's 5 out of 5. That's not to say Michael isn't intelligence. I just think, the apish demeanor and slurring, like it's very clear, like what a 4 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5 difference is. Ethan's very articulate, very intelligent. I've never seen the guy make a mistake in my life. Yeah, he knows how to choose everything right. Yeah. Comparing both spreads, we can see that Michael totals out to a 15.5 out of 25, and Ethan 16.5 out of 25. So yeah, on paper it looks like Ethan's got better stats, but you got to factor in potential because these are growing men. On the Ethan end, he's got zero potential. He's already peaked, long since peaked, I think personally. So you're not going to see much difference from there. But Michael has a approximate 1+ potential, which means it could be one or more. He just has a limitless potential, but I'm going to say one for now because as a bare minimum, you can't just hype up motherfuckers. So yeah, I think they are actually about even. I'm going to declare this bout a tie, but personally, if I were to give my favor, if you my opinion, give it like a year or so. Nah, maybe like 3 months to a week. Uh, Michael will surpass Ethan, and I think this bout will be extremely one-sided. Yep. Just to add on, a very trusted analyst in the community, Stephen Foster. He put his 2 cents in. He also agrees with my take that Michael Target would win in a normal tournament setting. However, on the street, it's a different story. Ethan's very accustomed to the streets as he walks around and wanders a lot of his time, aimlessly often. So he knows the places like the back of his hand. And in a street setting, I just think the beast within him would allow him to defeat Michael, is what Steven said. And I think I'd have to agree. I think in that setting, Ethan does have an edge. It's also worth noting that Ethan's friends with this creature here, this monster. Uh, I don't know what this would bump up in stats, but I think it's also worth noting. I think in terms of like mental fortitude or something, I mean, being able to, wake up every morning and carry on with your day knowing that you've encountered this monster says a lot. Like, this is a very freakish fiend. So, um, Chris Benoit, thanks for watching. Just please share your thoughts. I'd like to create a discussion about this, and I hope I did my best. Thank you.